What's an array? An array is simply a list of values. Those values can be numbers. They can be dates. They can be words. You can store all kinds of things in an array. So in this list, every one of these little boxes that we think of for storing our items in the list are referenced using what's called an index number. Here I'm starting with an index, starting with 0, because that's what Python uses. Other programs like to start their indices at 1. But it doesn't really matter as long as you know what the reference system is. So I can put random numbers in here. And then I can reference those numbers simply by knowing what the index number is. So for an array A, we'll say that that index number, let's say for index 3, is equal to 15. So I can reference any one of these, and we're going to find that we can even reference ranges of values. So I could reference ranges of values, say from 2 to 5, and it'll give me a smaller array that's a subset of this one. We can also have a two-dimensional array. We often call this a matrix, and it works exactly the same way. It's just a grid with values in it, but this time our grid is two-dimensional instead of one-dimensional. And again, I can put all kinds of values in here. Just because it's easy, I'll put in values that are sequential. Obviously, they don't need to be. You can put anything in here that we want. So we have 16 values. So now when I reference, I have to think about columns. So these are columns, and these are rows. So you're familiar this probably with Excel, where there are columns and rows, except in Excel, the columns are referenced by letters, and the rows are referenced by numbers. In matrices, we use numbers for indices of both. And so we say that we have a matrix value of ij, where our rows are I, and our columns are j. So if I say I want to reference a value that is row 3 and column 4, the value that's hidden there is 12. Okay, so I can reference from a two-dimensional array, I can reference from a one-dimensional array. So why am I talking about arrays? We're going to find that they're very, very easy to use in programming. We can make, in certain sub-packages of Python, we can reference as arrays and make very simple commands. So I can say, for example, take that entire matrix and flip it. I can take that matrix and multiply by a number. I can take that matrix and divide by a number very easily in Python coding. So we're going to try and store all of our values in arrays and work with them that way. So as you proceed through this exercise, you're going to get a chance to store values into arrays and matrices and pull them back out. So let's give it a shot.